this episode of SportsLink's Be a Fan show, we'll take a look at the gymnastics family,
swimmer Jackie Iglesias, and a look behind the scenes of a broadcast.
Coming up next on SportsLink.
Ball State Sports Link's Be a Fan, driven by Muncie Nissan. Shift the way you move.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Ball State Sports Link's Be a Fan show, driven by Muncie Nissan. I'm Josh Blessing.
And I'm Ashley Reed.
This month we'll find out more about point guard Brandy Woody from the women's basketball team. We'll take a look at some of the top plays in Ball State sports, and we'll even have not one, but two in-studio guests. Let's jump right in.
It's hard to argue with the dedication of the gymnastics team here at Ball State. Whether the girls are at practice or just hanging out in between their busy schedules, they seem to always be together. It's almost as if they're one big family. Here's a look at the team's passion in this story, produced by Katie Hawkins and Seth Tanner.
When someone mentions Ball State athletics, we find ourselves thinking about Worthen Arena, Schumann Stadium, and the loudest crowd in the Mid-American Conference. But the gymnastics team from Irving Gym is looking to take over that spotlight.
They had to put so much into their sport before they got here. Basically, like, they were recruited because they had already figured it out, that they're good, they love it, and they want to keep going with it. And so I feel like in college, at least for this program, it's taking them back to that. Why do you do this? And do you do it because you were told to do it, or do you do it because you love it?
I don't really remember like anything that made me just want to keep doing gymnastics for the rest of my life. I mean, I started when I was so young and had such a passion for gymnastics.
Morgan is definitely the type of leader that is more outspoken. If I had to be given 2 words to describe her, I'd say sure thing.
Good job, Morgan! Let's go!
Well, I was in 2 different sports at the same time. I was in gymnastics and I was also a figure skater. And I progressed really fast in both. But I always loved gymnastics way more.
I feel like Emily's role on the team is she is just one of those girls that she has so much confidence, but she's very soft-spoken and she's got that quiet confidence. So when she does speak up, I really feel like people listen.
With the commitment that gymnastics requires, Coach Walsh focuses her squad around a singular mantra.
You take care of you as an individual and the team will take care of itself. We used to train in a way where we were always training where, okay, all 6 of you go on beam and all of you have to hit together, and when they wouldn't, even though, say, you would make your routine, but if I wouldn't, you didn't get to feel good because I messed it up for you, and I just removed that from training.
You did so good, you stayed in it. You weren't frustrated, you looked great. Okay, good job.
When I was a freshman last year, when we started doing Team Beam, I got really caught up in the team part of it. And then I backed off, like, I don't know, after I kept falling, said, why am I doing this? And first of all, I had to figure out how to do it for me. And then once I figured out how to do it for me, then it was a lot easier to do it for the team.
Your teammates are there in the good and in the bad, and they're always going to be there, whether they know that you had a little slip up and they need to pick you up. I mean, that's what they're there for. Since we spend so much time in the gym and pretty much time outside the gym, all of our time together, I think team dynamics and spending time with the team, you have to love them.
It's like having about 15 sisters. During Christmas break, for instance, you wake up together, you eat together, you go to the gym together. Even like during conditioning, I mean, you're together in all the hardships, all the fun, all the tears and everything. So obviously you get to know the other person, and it's really amazing.
For a sport that revolves around maintaining grace and elegance, it can sometimes be the one to overcome the most injuries. These injuries, however, are no excuse.
Something as serious as a partially torn ACL, which I've competed on, and to as simple as a little broken toe, but I think that it all comes down to what you want in your heart and in your mind, and if you want it bad enough, you're not gonna let anything stop you.
In the end, it's not the injury that did it, it's me. Since I've gotten older, I've really tried to make no excuses for my mistakes when it comes to gymnastics, because, I mean, tomorrow's another day and it'll fix itself.
I tell the girls all the time, your body's your tool. We don't bounce a ball, we don't throw a ball. You guys are the ball, you have to take care of yourselves. And I feel like Emily and Morgan definitely take care of their bodies, and their commitment level goes outside these gym walls.
The reality is, this unique experience doesn't last forever, and this team has learned to live in the moment and cherish what they have.
This is Division I. This is as elite as it gets. There's no professional gymnastics after this, and they are as good as it gets. So
I always think show it off. It's like really humbling to think that it could be over in like a second. So I try and just like show how much I love the sport, how much I just love being able to do it.
We come in here and we work on those little things, and I think it's starting to show, and our scores are getting better, and we're right on the edge, and we know we can do it. So every day we come in here and we just practice our hardest so that our goals are accomplished.
For Ball State Sports Link, this is Katie Hawkins and Seth Tanner.
You know, Josh, I really enjoyed watching that package. I thought it was great footage. Camera shots, the close-ups were awesome. The lighting was great. I mean, you helped with part of that, didn't you?
Yeah, I was able to work on that package a while back, did some of the lighting, helped out with some of the camera work. It was a lot of fun. I think Katie and Seth did a great job on it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching it.
All right, well, as you can tell with our new set here at SportsLink, we're always trying to find ways to keep things fresh. So we're going to throw in our top 5 plays of the month for Ball State. Ashley, you ready for this?
I'm ready, Josh.
All right, let's check out number 5. For number 5, we go to Worthen Arena, women's basketball hosting MAC opponent Northern Illinois. Check out Katie Murphy with the deflection and the low post, getting the turnover for the Cardinals. Ball State goes on to win this game 50-43.
Number 4, we have gymnast Brooklyn Shoemaker here on the beam with an impressive dismount. Here, as you see it again, she really sticks this landing, and it looks like the fans enjoy it as well.
All right, and for number 3, we got some men's volleyball for you. Graham McIlvain with the serve in Worthen Arena. The Cardinals hosting Sacred Heart. And there's, well, Larry Rather. He's got some ups. You know what? He's fired up as well. And for good reason. The Cardinals this night sweep the Sacred Heart 3-0. The Wizard of Worthing, Larry Rather, getting the job done for the Cardinals yet again.
And now on to number 2, we have Ball State hosting Eastern Michigan. Tyree Robinson with the quick pass to Jarrod Jones in for that two-handed slam.
Yeah, you see another replay of it in slow-mo. Jarrod Jones going high above the rim, hanging on it a little bit, and maybe a little bit of a look back towards that Eastern Michigan player, but we'll act like we didn't see it. All right, for number 1, we got some more men's hoops and even more Jarrod Jones. Ball State tied 68-68 on the road at Toledo. Huge play for the Cardinals. Davis streaks down the court with 6.5 left on the clock. Jarrod Jones lays it up and in for an easy 2 points. The Cardinals go on to win this game 70-68. There you go. Check another look. Great pass by him, faking out to the defender, getting the W on the road. We just saw a lot of Jarrod Jones and Randy Davis in those last few highlights, but here's even more on the two seniors as SportsLink continues its yearly 12 and 12 series profiling each of the men's basketball players. Check it out.
My mom, ever since I was little, she always had a ball in my hand, just out there playing with my brother and I, and just since then, me always playing against Rick and his friends.
You know, Randy is our floor general. He's our guy that, you know, gets us organized on offense, make sure that guys are making the right rotations on defense. He's a playmaker, he's a shot maker, and he's a guy that can close out games for the free throw line for us.
Some of the goals that I have is getting us to the tournament. That's everyone's goal on the team, and it's very achievable. Personal goals is just trying to do as much as I can, without doing too much, helping everybody, making sure we're all in the rhythm, and just getting us there. The big one is leadership, helping guys go where they need to be, and just kind of encouraging them and trying to bring out the best in them.
I had a pretty busy summer. All summer I was out in Indianapolis working out at St. Vincent Sports Performance. Just working out with Coach Ed Schilling. He did a lot of work with me on my perimeter game, ball handling, shooting, and just a bunch of different types of things to get me prepared for this year.
We want Jarrod to dominate the paint. We want him to be a guy that can score in the low post for us. We want him to be able to rebound at a very high level on both ends of the floor, offensive and defensive rebounds. And we want him to be a shot blocker, be a presence defensively. If he does those things, then he'll have a great season.
It's definitely gonna be a different role for me. Being a captain on the team, I have to be held accountable for everything that I do and try to lead by example. Canada was a great trip for us. We went out there, we had a lot of success. But, I mean, we really just were able to gel and create that chemistry that we're going to need during the year, and that's probably the most important thing. For me personally, I just want to go out and just have a big year, lead my team to championship and to be able to go to the NCAA tournament. It's my last year, and that's ultimately where I want to end up. If I had to compare myself to an NBA player, I don't think I can pick just one, I look at myself kind of as like a combo. Yeah, I got a couple of KG tendencies, Lamar Odom in there, but I think I can compare myself to a couple guys.
All right, I'm joined with Mac West, four-time Mac West Player of the Week, Jarrod Jones from men's basketball. Jarrod, thanks for joining me. We'll start off by talking about the conference play so far. You guys are getting in the heart of conference play in your season. How do you feel you guys have played so far this year?
I think we've played well. There have been times where we've gone through little phases of inconsistency, but I think we're in no need to panic right now. I think if we continue to keep playing hard basketball, we'll be in good shape.
All right, now you're a senior captain this year. What has Coach Billy Taylor said to you about being a leader for this team this year?
He's just talked to me and my co-captain, Randy Davis, about just being an example, lead by example, whether it's speaking out loud or just doing the right things. And if other guys see us doing that, then they'll follow.
All right, right now you're second in the conference in scoring, a little over 17 points per game, almost 9 rebounds per game as well. What work did you put in during the offseason?
I've been going back and forth to Indianapolis over the summer, working out at St. Vincent Sports Performance, playing in the Indy Pro-Am, and just coming here every day, having open gyms with the team, taking it serious, and really trying to get better.
Now, something you didn't have the years previous up until this year is a 15, maybe a 17-foot jumper. How did you get that jumper? Where have you been working on that at?
Just a lot of hours spent in the gym shooting shots. It's something I've been doing even back in high school, but I never really needed to bring that out in my career here so far, but I think this year I've really been using it a lot more.
All right, now I have to ask, going into your senior season, I think you're 0 for 12 or 0 for 13 from three-point land. This season you got 9. Where's that coming from?
I'm just shooting with a lot more confidence. My teammates have confidence in me and my coach. And like I said, it's something that I've done before a lot of times in open gyms or in practice. And it's really been effective for me this year to stretch the defense when they're trying to trap me down in the post.
All right, now you guys have struggled against the MAC East division, for the past couple of years. You've struggled a couple games this season. What is it about the MAC East, and why do you guys struggle with them? Is it because of not facing them as much throughout the year?
I don't think that's the case. I think there's a lot of teams that have a great transition game, and they push the ball and get a lot of points on the board. and you have to just score with them. It's a game that it's a little different than playing versus the West, where it's more grinded out, battling. When you go to the East, I think you just have to, you know, focus on your defense and really stick to your principles.
All right, Jarrod, that's all the time we have for you, but thank you for joining me, and thanks for joining on the show. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Another thanks to Jones for joining us in the studio today. This next athlete holds the 3rd fastest time in program history in the 100 backstroke. She credits her success to her father, who she considers her hero. Learn more about sophomore swimmer Jackie Iglesias as SportsLink continues its In Focus series produced by Brandon Scott.
I'm Jackie Iglesias, Ball State swimming and diving, and I swim the backstroke event. I started swimming when I was 7 years old, and I chose swimming because actually my older sister was a swimmer for a little bit, and so I watched her swim, and it made me really want to try it. I tried every stroke like, you know, everybody does, and I think backstroke was just kind of like, it felt good. I have long arms, so that kind of helps, and I don't know, it's my favorite. The hardest part for backstroke, I would say for me, is the turns. I still have bad turns. I mean, I've been swimming for like 12 years and I'm still working on my turns every day in practice. I have to make sure my goggles are, like I have to get them wet. Even when I get on the block, I have to kind of check them like a couple times even before I swim to like make sure. My plans for after college are attending grad school for physical therapy, hopefully at Northwestern, but that's kind of a stretch, so I mean anywhere. I would say my dad is like my hero. Like he inspires me a lot because he's in a wheelchair and he was paralyzed when he was 25, and the fact that like he's at all my swim meets and he's probably my biggest fan, he's probably my hero in life. Since Laura Siebel-Cottle has been coaching for 33 years, it was a really big shock when she told us she was retiring, but I'm gonna miss her, and I think a lot of the girls are too. I love swimming with all the girls here, and I love swimming with Laura and Sarah, our coach, and it's just, I mean, the whole, like, everything about it. I love all the girls, and it's just great.
When you look at some of the greatest point guards in the past, they all have one similar trait: terrific leadership. To run the point effectively, one must engrave that leadership in the offense each and every possession. While Brandy Woody isn't where she wants to be just yet, she's well on her way. Check out this In Focus story produced by Timmy Fogarty.
I got started with basketball when I was younger, just like pickup games with my older brother and sister. They would always just have like lots of different kids over. I mean, my brother's a couple years older than I am, and my sister's just a little bit older than me. So just a wide variety of people over, and just sitting there watching as they would play in our driveway, and then I would just kind of pick up as people would get tired and stuff. So I would say Kathy Atkin. She was a former Indiana All-Star teacher at my high school that I went to. Just really very supportive of me. Anything that I had problems with or anything, I would just go to her. She's like one of my big role models, and definitely look up to her in that. So. No, they're just like, Brandy, it's your decision. We'll support you in whatever decision you make. So it was kind of just my decision. I mean, they helped. They were like, we like the coaches, but they didn't really push anything. The coaches for one, and then the players. I mean, the coaches are just great people in general. I mean, they treat you as you are basically one of their kids, one of their friends, basically. I mean, they don't treat you as just a basketball player. If you need something, they're there for you, and more of go-to people instead of just a coach in general. And then the girls are just crazy and so much fun with them on and off the court. We have some chippiness once in a while when we're competitiveness, though. I mean, it's never anything that's, we don't like each other or anything. It's just more competitiveness on the floor and just fighting for positions, but it's never like bad things. It's just in the locker room back joking again with each other. So, I would say fast pace, up tempo. I like to run the floor, get the ball up to runners that are running the lanes and stuff. Probably from point guard position. I'm working on leadership right now, so just running the floor and getting people in position. So I'm not real sure yet, but I'm kind of thinking more of like the personal training, just being there for people that need help and working out, and I'll be there for them.
I'm joined by another student athlete, quarterback Kelly Page. Kelly, you just joined SportsLink, this being your first semester. What made you decide to join?
Last year y'all did a story with Daniel Lift called What If, and y'all used to come out to our practices and interview a couple players every week, and I thought that was just really, really interesting. With him being one of my best friends, we talked about that very regularly, and CT contacted me this year, and I thought it'd be just a great opportunity to diversify myself while at Ball State, and so I took this with stride, and I'm enjoying every second of it.
Now your major is actually sports administration, so being in SportsLink, can you relate the two, or is this just something different that you wanted to do?
With sport administration, you oversee what happens at a sporting event or whatnot. And you don't know actually what goes on when a video is being put together or a live broadcast, but being at SportsLink, you get to actually see what goes on with them, and you just gain a whole new respect for what they do. So
now you already have your own show called Page 5. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Page 5 covers all athletes on campus with the number 5, regardless of their position, what sport they play. It's for that, to get to know the athlete that you might not heard about before. It doesn't have to be a superstar. It doesn't have to be the leading point scorer or whatever. It's just getting to know different athletes on campus that you might not have ever heard of before.
Okay, now you are used to being on the field and being one of those athletes. You're used to being the one that's actually getting interviewed. Now you are doing the interviewing. How's that transition?
I thought it would be so much easier than it actually was. I did my first interview last week with Jordan Huber of the women's basketball team, and we went in there, and I think we shot actually 30-something minutes of footage. We took up all the tape for just like a 2-minute show, and you don't go into that thinking that you're actually going to do that. You think that you might just go in there, get it done, and go on with it, but there's so many different things that you have to get used to, asking questions, asking follow-up questions and stuff like that. It's something that I have never experienced, and it's just been a great time.
All right. Well, thank you, Kelly. It's nice to have you as part of our SportsLink crew.
I appreciate it.
Be sure to check out the Chirp, SportsLink's web updates, airing every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on ballstatesports.com.
Here at SportsLink, we strive to produce the best live content possible for our viewers. After much preparation, we combined our new members with the veterans to air the women's basketball game against Bowling Green. Kevin Thurman has put together a little something to give you a behind-the-scenes look at the TV broadcast. Presented by Fox College Sports.
On a snowy day in Muncie, Indiana, we welcome you inside Worthen Arena, where tonight the Ball State women's basketball team will host the Bowling Green Falcons. Hey everyone, I'm Chris Renkel alongside Brandon Scott, and we will be joined throughout the night by Ashley Reed, our sideline reporter. But Brandon, Ball State coming off a tough loss to Akron, and still in the confines of Worthen Arena, which is a good thing for this young Ball State team.
Yeah, this crowd has to get behind the Cardinals tonight if they want a shot of knocking off the Falcons.
And this one will get underway. The ball is up, and Ball State controls it early. The Stitches is going to have her hands full as Mercedes Miller gets the quick steal. And now a long lob pass, wide open, Katie Murphy. Now let's take a look at our WMDH player of the game. And no surprise, the freshman Brittany Carter, she had 11 points tonight, also getting it done on the boards. I believe 6 boards and 3 or 4 assists. And she's just that kind of player that can get it done on all ends of the floor. Oh, she's a freshman and she's 5'10" guard. So as she gets older, she's just going to keep getting better. And that all but wraps it up here at Worthen Arena. We'd like to thank everybody who helped us, our partners at WIPB, everyone from the top of the nest to back in the truck to down on the floor. Again, our final tonight, 63-52. Brandon, final thoughts.
Ball State really proved that this young team has a great future ahead of them. Being able to look to the freshmen to come up big and being your leading scorers of the game, bright future for the Cardinals.
To stay on top of all the happenings for your Ball State athletics, be sure to head on over to Facebook and like us on Facebook as well. And you can even follow us on Twitter at BSU SportsLink. But before we go, here's a look at some of the upcoming events in the Ball State sports world. And as you can see, a packed schedule for Ball State athletics this next month, starting with February 4th, women's basketball hosts Buffalo. Then we fast forward to February 8th, men's basketball hosts Bowling Green. February 12th, men's tennis versus Anderson. And that game will actually be the only one of all of these that won't be broadcast on SportsLink Radio. Then we finish up the month February 15th as men's basketball hosts Toledo at home.
That's all we have this month's edition of Be a Fan. Be sure to head on over to ballstatesports.com/sportslink for even more Ball State sports coverage.
You can even catch us on WIPB, Comcast, Indiana, and Fox College Sports. For our producer, Paul Weller, and all of us here at Ball State Sports Link, I'm Josh Blessing.
I'm Ashley Reed.
And we'll see you next month.